अब हम पार्ट 3 करेंगे बेसिक ऑफ मेजरमेंट एंड इंस्ट्रूमेंट का। ठीक है, देखते हैं। एसी ब्रिज कैन नॉट बी यूज फॉर डायरेक्ट मेजरमेंट ऑफ विच इज ए कैपेसिटेंस। ठीक है, मैक्सवेल इंडक्शन कैपेसिटेंस एसी ब्रिज इज यूज्ड फॉर measurement of induction of which is a medium Q coil. ठीक है, मैक्सवेल ब्रिज measure an unknown induction in term of unknown which is a capacitance. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। In an induction bridge, the unknown induction is measured in terms of known resistance and capacitance. What is the formula for unknown capacitance in capacitance comparison bridge? तो आपको पता है कैपेसिटेंस कंपैरिजन ब्रिज इस तरीके का होता है। ठीक है, तो यहाँ इस तरीके से हम आप क्लास 12 में पढ़ रखे होगे। ये बहुत आसानी से आपको R1C3/1 R2 कर सकते हो। Which type of component does not connect in Maxwell induction bridge? Which is capacitance. Heavy bridge is used for measurement of induction coil with which is a high Q values. The leakage resistance of a capacitor is generally measured by scattering bridge. The loss angle of capacitor can be accurately measured using scattering bridge. Which of the following bridge can be used for induction measurement? Which is a Maxwell bridge and Hay bridge. Hence D is correct. Which one of the following bridge is used for measurement of dielectric loss and power factor of capacitor? Scattering bridge. Okay. Scattering bridge can be used to measure with one of the following, which is the capacitance and its power factor. For measurement and mutual induction, we can use which is use heavy sides bridge. Okay. Identify the bridge shown in the circuit, which is the T-Shorty bridge. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। है ब्रिज इज यूज्ड टू मेजर इंडक्शन ऑफ विच इज हाई क्यू वैल्यू। ठीक है, तो है ब्रिज हाई क्यू वैल्यू के लिए, मैक्सवेल ब्रिज मीडियम क्यू वैल्यू के, एंडरसन ब्रिज लो क्यू वैल्यू के लिए। विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग ब्रिज कैन बी यूज टू मेजर इंडक्शन? मैक्सवेल ब्रिज और एंडरसन ब्रिज हैं, बोथ ए एंड बी। एंडरसन ब्रिज इज यूज फॉर द मेजरमेंट ऑफ अननोन इंडक्टेंस। D. Shorty's bridge is most suitable for measurement of a capacitance. Calculate the value of unknown capacitance CS in microfarad for circuit given below when no current flow through the detector D. तो आपको पता है कि D Shorty ब्रिज के से वैल्यू क्या था? CX R4/R3C2, तो 60/20 इंटू 10 माइक्रोफराड विच आया 30 माइक्रोफैराड है। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। Which of the following bridge is most suitable for measurement of induction of a coil? Owen's bridge. For measurement of inductance having high value, we should use Hay bridge. Relative permittivity can be measured by dash bridge, which is a scattering bridge. Maxwell bridge is used for measure which is a inductance. What type of bridge circuit is used to measure inductance and capacitance? AC bridge. Bridge situated for measurement of low Q factor induction is Henderson bridge. AC bridge cannot be used for direct measurement of capacitance. Dissipation factor tan theta of a capacitor is measured by which bridge? Scattering bridge. Which of the following bridge is used to measure capacitance? Scattering bridge. Cathode ray oscilloscope. Laserius pattern of CRO depend on which of the following quantity of sine wave given to find frequency, amplitude, phase relation, and all of these. CRO cannot be used for direct measurement of which is a power. The signal generated by time-based circularity of CRO is basically a sawtooth waveform. Which element of CRO is used to collect secondary emission electron, which is a aqua. Next question. The X and Y plates of the cathode ray oscilloscope are provided with sinusoidal inputs of equal amplitude and frequency, which are 90 degree out of phase. The resulting Laserius pattern will be which is circle. The main part of CRO is R, which is a CRT. Loading by the measuring instrument introduce an error in the measured parameter. Which of the following device gives most accurate result? Is CRO. In an oscilloscope, the observed Lissajous figure in given below. What is the ratio of vertical input signal frequency to that of horizontal input signal? तो आप चेक करोगे F5 पे कितनी बार इंटरसेक्ट किया हुआ, तो आप 1 और 2 मिल जाएगा। तो ठीक है, Y पे 2 बार, ठीक है। एफ एक्स तो 1 2 3, तो 3, तो एक्स पे 3, तो F5 3 हो जाएगा और एफ एक्स 2 हो जाएगा, ठीक है। तो है 3/2 आंसर हो जाएगा आपका ए, ठीक है। Spectrum analyzer O is a combination of which a narrow band super heterodyne receiver and CRO. The CRT display is made up of a small picture element called pixel that as the pixel the test the image clarity or resolution of the display, which is smaller and better. The screen pattern oscillograph shown in the given figure is obtained with a sine wave signal of unknown frequencies connected to the vertical input terminal, and at the same time a 600 Hz sine wave voltage is connected to the horizontal input terminal of an oscilloscope, which is the 400 Hz. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं। The deflection sensitivity of the CRO is 10 millimeter per volt. What is the value of deflection factor in V per m? तो 0.1 होगा। कैसे? डिफ्लेक्शन फैक्टर डिवाइडेड 1 बाय डिफ्लेक्शन सेंसिटिविटी, ठीक होता है। Calculate the fastest rise time in a sine wave can have to reproduced by CRO if the bandwidth range from 0 to 10 Hz, which is a 35. Which of the following is not a component of a CRO, which is a motor? Which one of the following is a truly represent the output on the screen of a spectrum analyzer when an amplitude modulated wave is connected it, which is a 3 vertical lines out of which they have equal magnitude? A Lissajous pattern on an isoscope has 5 horizontal tangents and 2 vertical tangencies. The frequency of the horizontal input is 1000 Hz. The frequency of vertical input will be 2500 Hz. Beam of electrons in a cathode ray tube emanates because of which is a thermonic emission. Cathode of CRO is coated with which is a barium oxide. CRO can be used for measurement of voltage, current, frequency and phase difference. The purpose of SYNC control in a CRO is to which is a lock of display of signal. In a CRO, astigmatism is which is an additional focus control. Which of the following is true for cathode ray, which is a travel along a straight line? The techniques of adding a precise amount of time between the trigger point and the beginning of the scope swipe in the CRO which is known as delayed swipe. The AC voltage measured by CRO shows which is a maximum value. The voltage given to pre-accelerating and accelerating anode CRO is which is a 1500 volt. A vertical amplifier for CRO can be designed for a constant gain. A oscilloscope indicate peak to peak value of voltage. Horizontal deflection plates of CRO are plates generally vertical. Lissajous pattern obtained on CRO screen is a circle. Frequency of two signals are equal. CRO indicates which is a peak value of voltage. A connecting probe of cathode ray oscilloscope which is causes loading and distortion in the wave both. In a cathode ray tube, the source of emission of electrons is which is the barium and strontium oxide coated cathode. Input and output form a common base amplifier fed to an oscilloscope to see their phase relationship. Yes, figure which is a straight line. A CRO can be displayed which is both AC and DC signal. In a CRO, which of the following is not a part of electron guns, which is XY plate? Should a real-time instrument like oscilloscope be time invariant? Which is yes. Which material is used as coating in CRT of the CRO, which is a phosphorus? oscilloscope is basically which is a voltmeter. The set of horizontal and vertical line permanently marked on the CRT screen is called which a graticule. Legilius pattern run be used to determine which is a phase shift. Trigger pulse in CRO are used which is the to synchronize the input with the time-based generator. The input impedance of CRO is nearly which is about 1 mega ohm. The Legilius pattern appearing on the screen of a CRT when two sinusoidal voltage of the equal frequency which are phased with each other are applied to CRO is which is an straight line. Deflection sensitivity of CRO is dash distance between the deflecting plate and screen which is directly proportional to. A delay line is used in line speed CRO is introduced time delay which is a vertical channel. Elias pattern obtained on a CRO is used to determine phase shift and frequency. For accurate measurement of voltage, the most suitable equipment which is CRO. The bandwidth of a CRO is from of 0 to 20 MHz. The fastest rise time for sine wave which are reproduced accurately by instrument is which is a 70.5 nanosecond. CRO works in which is in time domain. Aqueduct is a which is a the conductive coating on the screen on CRT to collect the low velocity electrons. The sweep width in a CRO is controlled by which is a horizontal gain control. Sampling oscilloscope are specially designed to measure which is a very high frequency. For displaying high frequency signal, cathode ray tube should be provision for post deflection acceleration. A 1000 Hz sinusoidal voltage is connected to both X and Y input of a CRO. Which of the following waveform is a skin of CRO which is a straight line? A compensate probe of CRO contain which of the following an amplifier RC network only resistive network only capacitive network? Hence only 2 is correct. A circle is found on a screen of CRO when two time varying signal of same frequency and same magnitude are applied to XY plate of the CRO. What is the relative phase difference between 90 degree? A dual trace CRO has which is a one electron gun and two pole switch and signal of 10 millivolt at 75 megahertz is to be measured. Which of the following instrument can be used with cathode ray oscilloscope? CRO can be not measure power. An aqueduct is used in a cathode ray oscilloscope to collect which is a secondary emission electrons. For a given Lissogeius figure in find Fy in the if Fx is 1200 Hz. ठीक है, तो देख लेते हैं कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं. तो आपको पता है Fy by Fx इक्वल टू 3/2. ठीक है, Fy अपन Fx आपको 1200 दिया हुआ तो यहाँ से Fy 89 हर्ट्स आ जाएगा. ठीक है, ऑप्शन जो कि हो जाएगा 18. यहाँ से आप 1 2 3. ठीक है, ये Fy हो गया, एक 2 Fx. ठीक है, यहाँ से आपको पता चलेगा Fy इक्वल टू जगह 3 और Fx इक्वल टू 2 का. ठीक है. In a CRO, which of the following are part of a electron gun, which is a cathode grid and accelerating anode? A double beam oscilloscope has which is the two electron guns. What is the inverse transducer? It is device which convert and which is electrical quantity to mechanical quantity. Poisson ratio is, तो आपको पता है lateral strain अपन longitudinal strain, transverse strain अपन axial strain. ठीक है. In orifice meter, वो when a contractor is a point where velocity is, तो velocity क्या होता है, maximum होता है और static pressure is the minimum. Next, LVTT is dash order instrument, hence it dash replace is not instantaneous, first and static. And instrumentation a system magnetostrictive sensor are dash type of transducer active. Which of the following sensor has excellent linearity? SI based IC chip. Find the odd one. Hindi transducer. ठीक है, which is a radiation sensor. An inductive sensor work on the principle of each one of the above stratified principle. RDT is generally suitable for temperature up about which 800 degrees centigrade. Which of the following forms of temperature sensor most non-linear produce a large change in its resistance with temperature? Thermistor. The displacement type vibration sensor measure dash between the rotation element and the machine frame change in distance. When two wires of different metals are joined together at one end, when a voltage will be produced between the two wires due to difference of temperature between the two end of wire. This effect is observed in which is a thermocouple. Which of the following is a digital transducer, which is the encoder? Which one of the following is passive transducer, which is LVDT? Strain gauge, LVDT, and thermocouple are example of which is analog transducer. The output of thermocouple is which is the DC voltage. LDDT is transducer of inductive. Dash under influence of external force produce dash which is piezoelectric crystal electromotive force. Dash convert mechanical displacement into electrical signal which is a strain gauge. Once a signal is sensed before transmitting, many a times linear to non-linear operation are performed on a single. This process is known as single conditioning. What of the following is a not advantage of LVDT, which is a limited dynamic response? LVDT is used to measure which is a displacement. Microphones are acoustic transducer which convert acoustic energy to electrical energy. Dummy strain gauge is used along with measuring strain gauge to compensate for change caused by temperature variation. Which of the following is an active transducer, which is a photovoltaic? The competitive transducer normally used for which is normally used for static and dynamic measurement, both static and dynamic measurement. For contactless body temperature measurement, advanced thermometers are used. They are based on which is infrared radiation. The principle of operation of LVDT is based on the variation of which is a mutual induction. LVDT cannot measure temperature. Which of the following is a piezoelectric material is quartz? The measurement of the speed of a rotating shaft by means of electrical tachometer is a transducer, I think. Tachometer, sorry, is the trial measurement. The transducer is measurement system is the which is the input element. Regarding VTVM, which of the following statement is incorrect? Its ohm range are usually up to R into 1000 ohm. The first stage of system is known as which is known as the detector transducer state. A photosensitive device that converts amplitude varies light into a electrical signal for scanning by fax machine, which is a charge coupled device. Strain gauge roasted are used to measure strain when the direct principal stress is known. A RBDT is used to measure which is angular displacement. A loudspeakers convert electrical signal to sound signal. Which of the following strain gauge can be used for a certain application that requires a gauge factor of 100? Semiconductor strain gauge. Dash transducer cannot be classified based on electrical principle current generating type. A microphone is classified as which is a acoustical. A Paulitic vector wattmeter work on which is a Hall effect. Semiconductor strain gauge are used where which a high gauge factor is required. Resistance strain gauge is not used in measure which of the following which is a temperature. Which of the following is a not active transducer which is a Hall effect transducer. Synthetic piezoelectric material is which is a lithium sulfate. Which of the following is not belong to passive transducer which is a thermocouple. Thermocouple does not work on the principle of which is a stereobasic effect. Which one of the following transducer is made of semiconductor thermistor? Which of the following principle is used to displacement transducer? capacitive, inductive, and differential. Transducer must have good dynamic response, good sensitivity, good resolution, hence all of the above. A resistance strain gauge has a resistance of 100 ohm. The term Poisson ratio is connected with which is a strain gauge. Which of the following is a passive transducer? Which is LBDT. Measurement of non-electrical quantities. तो देखते हैं अगला क्वेश्चन. कैन नॉट बी यूज टू मेजर प्रेशर विच इज ए पैरोमीटर. ठीक है, क्योंकि उससे टेम्परेचर मेजर करते हैं. विच वन ऑफ द फॉलोइंग ट्रांसड्यूसर इज यूज टू ऑब्टेन द आउटपुट पोजीशन इन एन पोजीशन कंट्रोल सिस्टम विच इज सिंक्रो. ठीक है. Pirani gauge is used for measuring which is low, very low pressure. Pirani gauge is used measurement of pressure between 10 to power minus 1 to 10 to power minus 3 mm per Hg. Which of the following transducer convert pressure into displacement which is below? Which device can be used for measure torque which is a flat spiral spring? The amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kg of a solid into liquid at a atmospheric pressure at its melting point is known as the latent heat of fusion. The accuracy of pneumatic force meter is which is a plus minus 0.5% of full scale. Tachometer is an instrument measure which is a RPM. Dash is used to measure pressure directly which is a Bourdon tube. Dash is measured by an anemometer which is flow. Radiation parameter are used for measurement of temperature in range of 1200 degrees centigrade to 2500 degrees centigrade. The input quantity to most of instrumentation system is generally non-electrical. The bolometer is a temperature sensitive resistive element. Flux meters use which of the following effect? Hall effect. Thermistor can be used as which is a measurement of thermal conductivity, vacuum measurement of composition of gases, hence all of the above. Q meter work on the principle of series resonance. In a flux meter, the controlling torque is which is not provided at all. Temperature inside a furnace is usually measured by which is a optical parameter. A power factor meter has which is the no spring control spring. What instrument is used to measure atmospheric humidity which is a hygrometer. A barometer is used to indicate the which is the amount of reactive change. Rotometer used to measure which is the I think C option specific gravity. Sorry, which is the flow rotometer से. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. नल टाइप रिकॉर्डर्स आर विच इज ए पोटेंशियोमीटर, ब्रिज मीटर, एलबीडी, एनी ऑफ दीज. ठीक है. विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग इज a head type flowmeter which is a pitot tube? Which of the following is a direct method of level measurement which is a side glass method? Which of the following is a not the unit of pressure measurement is a Newton per meter? Loudness is expressed in which is decimal. The cross-sectional area of Bourdon tube is which is a elliptical. The optical parameter is used to measure high temperature. Instrument used to measure the speed of rotating machine appliance which is a tachometer. Measuring the thickness of wire strip is done by which is a micrometer. Next question देखते हैं. For measuring the temperature R, we use which is a thermometer. Which instrument is used to measure the temperature above solar 1600 degrees centigrade, which is thermoelectric barometer. For defining the standard meter wavelength of the which material is converted, which is a krypton. An instrument used for measuring total solar radiation is used which is parameter. Which of the following measurement of tachometer which is a C rotation speed of shaft? Which of the following instrument is used for measurement of ground reflected radiation? एबेडोमीटर. ठीक है. तो ये हमारा बेसिक ऑफ मेजरमेंट एंड इंस्ट्रूमेंट का ख़त्म होता है. अब हम अगले वीडियो में एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन प्रिंसिपल कवर करेंगे. प्लीज़ लाइक एंड शेयर द वीडियो एंड सब्सक्राइब द चैनल. थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग दिस वीडियो.